The dawn of the internet gave us many great things, such as Wikipedia, an endless resource of education and information, and Facebook, a fantastic way to stalk your ex. Now, we may be biased here, but we think the internet's greatest contribution to the planet is the abundance of crazy videos on offer. And it's time for you to watch some of the best. These are the most amazing videos in the world that you need to see. When? Now. Number 15. Giant squid versus paddleboard. Of the many animals alive on our Earth, the giant squid is easily one of the most mysterious, always lurking in the deep, far from the surface. It's easy to see how so few of these creatures have actually been seen in the wild. But if this video is anything to be followed, the secret to attracting these animals has been in our grasp all along. The paddleboard. That's right, the paddleboard bros were onto something. This video begins innocently enough with a guy sitting on his board in the middle of the ocean, but then things get super weird. When the camera dips beneath the surface, we can see a giant squid wrapping its tentacles around the board, possibly because he wants a turn riding the waves, but we'll never know for sure. Once the squid gets its tentacles on the board, the man tries to gently nudge them off, only to be flung off the board by the squid. Knowing that this squid could, well, be dangerous, the guy climbs back onto his paddleboard and prepares to head off. But the squid shows no sign of letting go. If there's a lesson to be learned from this video, it's that even giant squids want to enjoy a day on the water. Whoever invents the giant squid paddleboard is going to make a fortune in undersea currency. Like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Now it's time for the juicy topic. They say you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But it turns out you can also take a fish to land, and you can make it eat. This footage from an artificial lake in India shows the remarkable moment a school of catfish were so desperate to eat that when they smelt some food on nearby land, they willingly attempted to invade, tossing their bodies up onto the ground and wriggling their way toward the food. Incredible, albeit creepy stuff. Keep your lunch well away from the water, or a gnarly catfish might jump out and snatch it from you. Remember to comment down below with the hashtag #JuicyTopic, and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. And now, to the next topic. Number 14. Snapping turtle. Thanks to cool animated dudes like Crush and Finding Nemo,
Should just pick two and let's go.
Dad.
turtles are a beloved animal all over the world. But there's one type of turtle that you really don't want to encounter anywhere, and that is the snapping turtle. Not just because they look kind of scary, but because, as this video shows, you may lose some limbs if you get too close. You've been warned. The video demonstrates just how powerful the snapping turtle's jaw truly is. There's not much we need to describe with this video, but the sheer strength of this animal cannot be understated. After it manages to bite through 2 aluminum cans with seemingly no effort at all, it takes on an iPhone. And, honestly, if this animal can crack an iPhone screen with one bite, imagine what it could do to a human finger. We're talking immediate amputation. Definitely something to keep away from. Apparently, the snapping turtle has a bite force of between 208 and 226 newtons. While that is less than that of a human jaw, the video clearly shows that these animals have jaws designed to cut, not bite. That means you may not have your fingers crushed, but, well, you won't have your fingers at all. Number 13. Injured sea lion. As children, we're taught 2 life lessons. Don't talk to strangers for any reason, and go seek help from others if you need it. Well, apparently, these completely contradictory rules are also present in the animal kingdom. When an animal is injured, sometimes it must seek out help from unfamiliar species. Unfamiliar species like, I don't know, humans? While sailing across the coast of California, a group of yachters recorded this incredible footage. After she's been injured somewhere in the ocean water, a sea lion, named Amber for those interested, swims towards the yacht in desperate need of help. Thankfully, her desperate ingenuity worked. Attempting to help her up without risking making the injury worse, the otters encourage and assist her until she finally manages to climb aboard. Then, the otters contacted the Harbor Patrol to get the animal the help she needed. We love this happy ending, but we have an even happier one. Thankfully, Amber was taken in for care with the animal care team and made a full recovery over the course of several months. So this video clearly shows that sometimes it pays to break the established rules and trust a human. Okay, rarely, but sometimes. Number 12, laughing dolphin. There are few animals as intelligent as the dolphin. With the exception of monkeys, there may be no other species confirmed to be so capable of highly developed thought and communication, which makes videos like this all the more fun to watch. We're seeing a genuine connection between two intelligent species. Okay, one intelligent species and also humans. Close enough. While at an aquarium, a young woman decided to entertain the dolphins the best way she knew how. Some spontaneous gymnastics. As the woman begins flexing her limbs and doing cartwheels, one of the dolphins stops to watch her and can clearly be seen laughing and enjoying the show. The other dolphins pass by, offering the occasional glance at the woman, but there's something so hypnotic about her movements that this particular dolphin just can't seem to look away. I guess there's not a whole lot of dolphin gymnastics under the sea. It's pretty amazing to see such an intelligent animal appreciating the movement of a human body, and it clearly demonstrates that there's not much that separates us within the animal kingdom. This young woman gave the dolphin a brief moment of joy, and it gave us an amazing video clip. Number 11, the reptile dog. We've all seen dozens, if not hundreds, of videos where a human comes home to their dog. The dog gets all excited and starts rolling around before jumping on their owner. Then everyone cries, and we go back to binge watching The Office on Netflix for the 61st time. Well, here's something a little bit different before you get back to The Office. This video shows a guy coming home from work, and can you guess where this is going? His pet gets all excited, rushes over to see his owner, and it's a lizard.
Come on, buddy.
Who saw that one coming? Apparently, Buddy the Lizard does this all the time and is never not excited to see his owner. Of course, most of us would be pretty scared if a lizard started running up to us like this in any other context, so you have to admire this guy's determination to train his lizard so well that the animal is now basically a scaly dog. If the video wasn't here, I doubt that anybody would ever believe that it was possible. Number 10, Belgian Malinois. All dogs are beautiful, but not all dogs are well behaved. There are some dogs that seem to be completely unpredictable or even just straight up destructive. And while that can be fun for visitors and/or children with anarchist tendencies, it's probably not so great for the owner. However, this video shows what can happen when you have your dog fully trained, and honestly, it's kind of amazing. This video shows a Belgian Malinois demonstrating the extent of his training, performing everything that his owner tells him to.
Roll over. Sit pretty. Sit.
Without any hesitation. He rolls, he spins, he gets on his hind legs. He pretty much does everything that I do when waiting to be fed. It's very rare to see a dog of this size performing in such an organized way, and it no doubt required many, many hours of exhausting training to accomplish it. As a breed, the Belgian Malinois are pretty famous for their constant energy and hard-to-train natures, which makes this video nothing short of a miracle. It's like teaching a slinky to not fall down the stairs in a bizarre yet hypnotic way. It just defies all laws of nature. Number 9, talking parrot. We all wish that our pets could talk, if only so we could have someone to discuss the latest Netflix binge-a-thon with, but for parrot owners, it's a daily blessing.
That's gross.
They have animals that are just straight up fun to be around. Take a look at this video, in which a parrot named Einstein basically performs a little stand-up show of his own. The video shows a man interviewing Einstein and allowing the bird to show off his many incredible skills.
Did that hurt? Ow, ow, ow. Cry like a baby.
From answering simple questions in English to doing hilarious impersonations of everything from wolves to spaceships to people saying goodbye, it's amazing to see a bird performing in such a fluent and cohesive way. And that's before we mention the accuracy of the impersonations. Sure, we don't know what a spaceship actually sounds like, but also we all know it sounds exactly like that.
You fly on the spaceship and shoot the lasers?
Good job, Einstein. Much like human stand-ups, comedians in the animal world are destined for viral fame, and Einstein is definitely deserving of the title of amazing. How many other parrots are capable of performing in such a hilariously accurate way? I rest my case. Number 8. Indian Dancing Cop. In most countries, traffic cops are pretty dull. They're stuffy, mechanical, and generally unhappy to look at, regardless of how much they try. And believe me, some of them do try. However, India is not most countries. This is a country that celebrates its culture in every way, from music to movies to theater, and apparently, traffic cops also celebrate that culture in their own way. The footage shows a traffic cop in Bhubaneswar, India, having the time of his life. Not content to just stand still and mechanically point cars in their respective directions, the cop transforms his ordinary job into a dance extravaganza by making his every movement into a specially planned dance gesture. He makes the whole thing an amazing expression of style, no doubt making many people's days in the process. I only wish that traffic cops the world over could exude this kind of style while directing traffic. It would sure make the road rage more artistic. So apparently this cop has been performing his duties in this manner for several years, always hoping that he can reduce the chaotic nature of driving in India. I doubt that he's achieved his goal, but he's a shoo-in for a Justin Timberlake backup dancer if he ever wants that job. Number 7. Orangutan and the Cubs. Because they're one of the most intelligent species on the planet, we expect quite a lot of common sense from orangutans. This video may initially suggest otherwise, but just give them a chance. These animals are very smart. They just like to take a gamble with their lives every now and then. Apparently, the clip shows an adult orangutan babysitting a group of young tiger cubs, the kind of scene that immediately makes your brain say, this is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Thankfully, however, we have no reason to worry. In fact, it all seems all of the animals involved truly love one another like a family. The tigers are clearly fond of the orangutan, treating her like their own mother, and the orangutan has no problem letting the cubs run all over her. It really is like watching a family playing around, not two completely different species. If there's anything to take from this video, it's that, ultimately, a family is what you deem it to be. This amazing video features two wildly different species coexisting, and doing so in a meaningful and peaceful way. If the tiger and orangutan can do it, what excuse do the rest of us have? Number 6. Singing for the cows. As humans, we have an inexplicable relationship with music. There's just something about this art form that deeply moves us and prompts us to move and do things in ways we wouldn't otherwise. Animals also have this unusual attraction to music and can often be found to react in a way that perhaps nobody ever would have expected. Don't expect any breakdancing though. This clip shows a young woman trekking out in the middle of a field where a herd of cows are loitering in the distance. Over the course of several seconds, the woman begins singing her song, loudly enough to capture their attention. Soon enough, the cows begin making their way toward her. Much like the sirens in the old Greek legends, the woman's song brings all of the cows to her yard. Okay, I might be confusing Greek legend with Kellis, but the point is very much the same. These cows were attracted through the incredible and inexplicable power of music. We may never know what it is about the music that draws the cows towards this woman, but it definitely makes for an amazing video. Still waiting on those breakdancing cows though. Number 5. Neighboring bear. This may be one of the few instances where we have to put a warning before the video. If you find yourself in this situation, under no circumstances should you attempt to record it. Get a friend to record it instead. With that safety lesson out of the way, let's watch this guy get himself in this situation and record it. While enjoying a peaceful day out in the wilderness, a man happens to notice a wild bear approaching. Already, you can imagine how this could go very, very wrong. But while common sense usually tells us to go fleeing for the horizon, this guy pulls out his phone and records the whole encounter. Luckily, the bear doesn't seem to have any interest in harming him. Instead of ripping him limb from limb, as any other predator would do, the bear just settles down and sits right next to him. It's so bizarre that you can't imagine seeing anything like it outside of a Super Bowl commercial. Eventually, the bear decides it's had enough of sitting around. As this great predator gets to its feet, the camera guy prepares for certain death with some final choice words. Ay, 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 ay. Luckily, these turned out to not be his last words, as the bear just wandered off and left him alone. Maybe AAAAA was some kind of bear-specific threat. We'll never know. Number 4. Waking the lioness. As many man knows, there are some truly awful ways to wake up a sleeping woman. But we'd guess that this lion's tactic is maybe the worst of all, and that's really saying something. Prepare for what could possibly be the most violent wake-up call in the entire history of the animal kingdom. The clip begins with a male lion steadily creeping towards the sleeping female. It's kind of creepy and a little weird, but hey, this is the animal kingdom we're talking about. As he gets closer, the lioness makes absolutely no movement whatsoever. But that doesn't mean that anybody should get too comfortable. As our lion prepares to nestle in beside her, the lioness leaps up with a ferocious roar and begins fighting back against the strange lion. It takes no time at all for this lion's presumably innocent intentions to earn him some pretty aggressive scratches. Let that be a lesson to men everywhere. Generally speaking, it's good life advice. Do not wake a sleeping lioness, especially if you're a complete stranger. There's nothing more terrifying than trying to take a nap and having some weird furry dude slide up beside you. You've been warned. Number 3. Army of Duckness. Every army needs a leader, someone to walk them into the line of danger and bring them back home alive. But while Napoleon and General Custer and those guys were all well and good, we are most interested in the Duck Woman. Who is the Duck Woman, you ask? She is but a human goddess, bringing joy upon the thankless and increasingly lost world. Alright, we don't know who she is, but she has a lot of ducks, and that's good enough for us. This clip shows a typical Indian street on a far from typical day. While it seems there's nothing much going on at first, something unusual quickly comes into view. An army of ducks begins swarming the streets, herded by a curious-looking woman in yellow. As the Duck Woman guides this insane amount of ducks through the street, just about everyone else stares in complete confusion and awe. Because why wouldn't you? There's an army of ducks just wandering through. It's like a Pixar movie. We have no idea why the woman does this or where these ducks go, but it's a pretty incredible bit of footage. And if ever the duck season/rabbit season war kicks up again, we know that the ducks have a hell of an army. Number 2. Strange lightning. Lightning is already a strange phenomenon. I mean, electricity that shoots down from the sky? That is craziness. But the lightning in this footage is even crazier than crazy, because it's something we've never ever seen before. And honestly, we don't really understand it. The footage clearly shows a series of lightning streaks, but instead of the lightning bolt coming from above, the electricity seems to be firing up from below in a whole bunch of intriguing patterns. It's like art in the sky, but with electricity. So how is it possible that lightning can be conducted from the ground up? Well, I'm not a scientist, so I can only guess. Magnets? Well, now that we have the science out of the way, we can all agree that this is a pretty amazing sight. I mean, natural phenomena are all but certainties in our universe, and we're led to believe that things can only happen one way. But if lightning can be fired from the ground up, who's to say we can't have rain falling upwards? Not me. I'm banned from science for the whole magnet thing. Number 1. The fire train. Trains are incredible achievements in engineering, but nobody could say that they're particularly pretty until now. While most are happy enough to allow trains to be bulky pieces of metal confined to underground tunnels, some have come up with very creative ways to make this piece of machinery truly beautiful. The secret? Lights and smoke. The clip shows the train barreling through a snowy landscape, but with an aesthetically pleasing bonus. As the train expels its smoke and its light illuminates the falling snow, we get to see a beautiful fire-like display of light against the backdrop of the night sky. Of all the trains that we've ever seen, this is by some distance the most pleasant to look at. And thankfully, there was no known murder committed upon this train, making it a major improvement over the Orient Express at least. Of course, the great irony about this particular video is that those on board were completely unable to see the beautiful sight that was just outside of their window. At least they have the video though, better than the Orient Express. They just had a bunch of murders. Which of these videos do you think was the most amazing? Let us know in the comments. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now. See you next time!